Hello, and thanks for tuning in. I'm Rixie, one of the creators here on the Collector's Maze Network. My guest today grew up in France and studied at the National French Conservatory before moving to LA and landing a role in cinema's most well-known shipwreck story. And I'm not talking about the one that was only supposed to be a 3-hour tour. She's the voice of Calisto in the massively popular game Call of Duty. She has tons of experience in dubbing and voiceover and is the co-founder of Seven Holdings Media. Everyone, Fannie Brett Robot. Fannie, welcome to the maze.
Thank you so much, Rixie, for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, where I want to start off, tell me, or rather tell us about growing up in France. What inspired you to go to the French Conservatory and pursue this path of, what took you there? I mean, it may not have been necessarily entertainment, right? I mean, why did you want to go there?
My mother was, I think, she wanted to dance when she was a kid. She wanted to learn the arts, and her parents didn't do that for her. So I think I was her first child. I have a sister, 4 years younger than me, and she wanted me to learn music and all that stuff. I think she put me at the conservatory. I was 6 years old for music analysis, like solfège, where you learn, you learn the beats and then you learn how to read music. And then within the same year, she was going to a dance class, and I did ask her to subscribe me to the next dance class at the conservatory then, because I felt that when I was watching those adults in my head, I was like, oh, I know I can do better. So I asked if I could go, and she's like, if you go, promise me that you will not give up, you will commit. And I committed for 12 years of conservatory. It brought amazing discipline for me. Once you start studying, it's a lot of hours after school, and then I was happy at the conservatory. I was not very happy at school, but at the conservatory, I was in my zone, So I was a ballerina for 12 years, but then the ligaments of my ankle, I kept torning my ankle, so I knew I was not going to have a career as a ballerina. But I studied drama at 16, also at the conservatory, and my drama teacher really liked me, and so I knew I was going to have a career in the arts, not as a ballerina. So then I became an actor, and I started to book my first gig. I think I was 20 when I was in Paris. The conservatory was in Angoulême, a little city in the southwest of France. That's great to be raised there, but then you have to move because it's a very small, gossipy town. And
Aren't all small towns?
All
small towns are.
Yeah.
Even here in the Midwest.
Yeah, everybody knows everybody, and it's good. It's reassuring when you're young, but then, especially, I had a strong personality, so there was a lot of gossiping around me, and I was not very happy at home. We had huge family issues when I was 17. My mom and my dad separated, so it was becoming very complicated. So I went on my own, and then went to Paris, Cours Florent, which is the best private drama school you can go to, and then went to LA. I think it was 1994.
94. Okay. So LA, and then it wasn't long after that, then Titanic came up, right? I mean, so.
Yeah, true.
And Titanic, that was 1997 that came out. So you guys, I mean, that was probably filming what?
Yes, audition in 1996, I think. No, yes, auditioned in 1996.
Okay.
It was my first audition because I didn't have my papers, and I just got my green card at that time. So I got a manager, and she was helping me to find an agent, and then they decided they didn't want to take me in because at that time my French accent was very strong. But he said, oh, but wait, you're French. There is a big project who wants an actress who can speak both English, and French, and it was Titanic. And the audition was just improv work. We had to prep following, directions they gave
Mm-hmm.
us. And I did one audition with Miley Feen. She's an amazing casting, and I got it.
So what kind of direction do you remember? What they were giving you? What were they telling you to do?
Yeah, they just asked us to improv with a beginning, a middle, and an end. All they wanted is my character to speak both English and French, but they wanted my character to land emotionally on the verge of having tears, but not crying. They wanted me to be very emotional, but he wanted to see the tears, but he didn't want me to cry. So I came up with a story in my head. I found a nice dress to audition because I knew it was period. Because at that time we were not sure if it was Titanic or not. There was a code name, but I knew it was period. So I got a nice dress, and my boyfriend at that time was also an actor. So I went with him, and I used him as a scene partner. I didn't tell him anything I was going to do. And basically, I was saying, je sais ce que tu as fait, tu es tout le temps en train de regarder les autres femmes, which means I know what you're doing. You keep looking at other women.
Oh,
so basically,
put him on the spot.
I was putting,
put him on the
yeah,
spot.
I was putting
I
him
like
on the
that.
spot.
I like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and then he was saying, no, I didn't cheat on you. And I said, yes, I have proofs, da da da. And then everything I was saying in French, then I was repeating it in English. And at the end, I told him, I want you to leave. I don't want to be with you anymore. And I had a tear.
Oh, that's great.
Literally, it was
That's
perfect.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
So
and
was he like?
At that
He's like
time,
that was just pretend, right? That wasn't real, right, Fannie? I mean, was he worried at the end of that?
No. Well, guess what?
What?
That guy I was going out with at that time.
No, don't tell me. He was.
When I got the part, and he was an actor too. I think he was a little jealous.
Okay.
And then when I got the part, I went to shoot in Rosarito. I was there for 10 days, and I found out 6 months later that when I was in Rosarito, he was cheating on me with my best girlfriend.
So he was like, does she know? Does she know? Surely she can't know.
Well, at that time, so
you were
it's
like,
very
dang,
interesting.
you're so good at this. You look so worried and nervous and upset. Oh my gosh.
He was not a very faithful guy.
Well, I'm sorry
for
for that. That really stinks.
Oh,
that really
well.
stinks. So for those who aren't, who don't know, I mean, Titanic, James Cameron film came out in 1997, and you played. Am I saying this right? Is it Leontine Pauline Aubert?
Leontine Pauline Aubert.
Leontine Pauline Aubert. Yeah. So she was a French cabaret singer and the mistress of Benjamin Guggenheim, an American, millionaire, right? And so I remember I had to go back and rewatch stuff because it's been a while since I've seen Titanic, and
such a small part.
well, I mean, but the dinner scene, I mean, and to get a named character in a movie like that, I mean, come on, right? I mean, that's huge.
Especially Rixie. It was my first acting gig in America.
Really?
And I was cast because he wanted to see if I could get emotional, because he cast me because my character, what was written in the script, I was introduced at the dinner table scene, the scene where you still see me in the film. But I was cast to lose it emotionally on the lifeboat because I was supposed to see Guggenheim falling off the boat. But I shot that first scene. I was supposed to go back a month and a half later. Unfortunately, they were supposed to pick me up, and a limo was supposed to pick me up to drive me to the airport to go to Rosarito. I waited for that limo for an hour, didn't show up, and I called production in Rosarito, waited like 45 minutes on the phone. Finally, I got one of the assistant directors who said, "Hey, I'm so sorry, we didn't let you know yet, but your scene was erased because we don't need your reaction anymore because we're going to have Guggenheim die inside the boat, so it's not as expensive," because they already had 1/4 shot of the film. They already spent the whole budget of the film at that time. So my character was a small character, so she got a little... The beauty is that she stayed on screen, so I'm still appearing on the credits, and I'm obviously cast as an actor, and I still get residuals. some people were on set for 6 months and they don't even see a hand,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So that's
yeah,
tough.
yeah,
I was only there for 10 days, so on and all. I mean, on and all, I was, I guess, pretty
yeah.
lucky.
Well, absolutely. But I'm okay. I'm like, we missed out on Madame Aubert. I mean, so lamenting. Did you? I mean, you had to have that already worked out what you were going to do, right? I mean, you had that emotionally figured out where you were going to go and how that was going to look, right? Because you were set to
Regarding
go.
what?
When seeing him jump off and die, that your reaction to that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I knew I was ready to do that. You know, unfortunately, again, it was never shot, so I didn't have preparation because, I mean, you prep when you're on set, really. Especially with James, I mean, he knows exactly what he wants, so you wait to be on set to be starting working with him.
Well, I had just prior to you and I getting on and talking, I was like, I want to rewatch the that scene, that whole the boat sinking, and I man, that tore me up. I've forgotten how impactful that was. I mean, and
Yeah,
uh,
it's true.
that was
Yeah, it's true. I only saw it once, and then I watched it again not too long
it's hard to
ago, and I
watch.
was telling.
It's hard to
Yeah,
watch.
some of the stuff is really well done. You know, they built like a whole half of the boat, half of the Titanic. The decors were fantastic. The clothing was real clothing. Everything came from England. What I was wearing was truly worn by, women of this time. They taught us how to eat, and use, all the accessories. I mean, it was the real deal. You know, James doesn't do things halfway. I mean, he goes all the way, and I was very impressed when I was there because that was my first gig. I was like 25. You know,
What a first
I was
gig! What
shy.
a first gig! I mean that's. I mean, I've got to believe there. I mean, has there been a set? As elaborate or a production as elaborate since then? I mean, that's got to be a huge production. I mean, to start there, right?
Yeah, no, from that moment it's all
Well, I
downhill.
won't
I
say
want to
it's
say,
downhill. It's just there. It's
yeah,
different.
but
I mean, that's like the as
yeah.
big a set as they get, right? I mean, you don't see anything bigger than that anywhere.
No, yeah, it was pretty big, especially the pressure that you feel when you come in. Everybody's very stressed. Everybody's saying, welcome to Titanic. I think that when I showed up, they had shot for 13 days in a row, which was everybody was exhausted because they were dealing with the water scenes, and those are hell, man.
I couldn't
Working
imagine
in
that.
water is hell. They had water tanks, like swimming pool, not too high, but not too deep. But you have to keep the water warm, which is not easy. And even if it's warm, with the fatigue and all that, the actors were getting cold,
Well, yeah, and they were
and
constantly
you
wet,
get
right?
very
I mean, the
tired.
ones that were in the
Yeah,
water had to stay in the water. I mean, for I guess you
yeah,
could get out and for in between scenes. So I recently did some background work on a Hallmark film that was shot here locally in Kansas City, and the waiting in between everything, and they still want you there. You don't you can't leave. You got to stay in that spot, or be ready to
true.
go because when everything else is ready to go, when they call background, they want you guys moving. But I can't imagine. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure some people had to stand in that water for hours.
Yes, yes. It's hard for actors. It's even harder for extras because extras come before everybody else and leaves
Yeah.
after everybody, after all the actors. It's period, so it takes longer to get dressed, the makeup, hair, all that. It's hard. We were going time over time, turnaround time. We were like doing 12, 14 hours days. It's tough.
That's interesting. You say that.
It's hard
So that
work.
it happens. So extras are the same on a big set like I mean the Hallmark set. That's my pinnacle, right? That's going to be my pinnacle. Uh, so we finished, and it's like okay, that's lunch, and we were waiting for them to tell us what to do, and everyone just starts leaving and leaving and leaving, and finally then someone comes around to get all of us. I mean the extras leave last, right? So like you
Yeah.
just wait and wait and wait. So
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard on them,
well,
for
I
them.
have to say I'm bummed that I missed, or we as a whole missed out on the Madame Aubert's, scene in the water. Now you would have been in a boat, though.
Me
You would
too.
have been in a boat, so I'm really bummed about that.
Yeah, but I was in the boat. I was not in the
I know you
water.
didn't have to get wet, so I'm thinking you,
Yeah.
you need to grab someone, and I think you just need to do a reel and just make that scene happen. Just make a little reel or a TikTok, you know. here's what you all missed. Anyway.
Yeah, do you know what? It's a good idea.
I think so. I'll
do that. I'm trying to get my TikTok off the ground. And again, I know I should post more. I only post when I have something to say, which is I should post every day. I cannot get myself to do it because I forget. I mean,
it's
literally.
Hard.
But thank you, Rixie. I will use this idea.
I just know I want to see it. I'm like, after hearing this story, I'm like, I feel like we need some closure. I want to see you do that. I want to see someone just grab their nose. Leotine, my darling. I love you so much, and jump, and then you were like, I got.
Well, James was super good though, because when we had the premiere, he remembered that he had to, he cut my scene, and I saw him and I say, "Hi, James," and he hugged me and said, "Oh, I hope you're not mad at me." I'm like, "No, I mean, I'm sure you did what you could." He's like, "Well, you're still in the picture, okay? But I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to shoot your scene." He was just adorable. A lot of people criticize him. I always defend him. This guy is brilliant. He works so hard. He creates so many jobs. And, a lot of people complain that, hey, he's an asshole. That
He's not there.
I've seen the...
Yeah.
He's the guy is really, I mean, what a brain, what a mind. And I've seen him get upset when he's asking for the third time the same thing.
And that makes sense.
And that makes sense. But he takes the time to explain. He's kind. He's funny. He cannot sleep for days. I don't know the guy has an incredible mind.
So one last thing on Titanic, and I want to move on. But so I caught a interview today with Bill Paxton on Larry King Live. And you probably, I don't know if you've heard this or not. So there was some problem with some clam chowder that they were serving on set that apparently was it PCP or LSD lace?
Yeah, I think it happened with. I think it happened with the visual effects team in Canada.
Was it? I don't remember exactly where they said, but I know Bill said.
Yeah,
Bill said he got like 150 people had to be taken to a hospital wherever they were at, and Bill's like, I'm not going to wait around for this.
I think somebody poisoned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard the story, but I think it opened in the second. It happened for the second team in Canada.
Okay.
So I was certainly not there, and yes, somebody poisoned the food.
Laced it with a little happy dust.
With acid.
Little happy dust.
Yes, I think it was just LSD or something
that's
like that.
What he was saying. I mean, I'm sure they figured it out, but I'm like, holy cow, why would someone do that? But okay, so I was curious if you had any any knowings or were around when that happened. So
I heard that story, but I don't have more information.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So Call of Duty, Calisto. That how pumped were you when you booked that role? I mean,
I was pumped. Well, you have to know that in the voiceover business, I am pretty new. Like, I created the dubbing department in LA in 2018. Like, in my country, we dub anything in French since the late 40s, early 50s.
Okay.
Right? And in America, you guys love subtitles. You didn't dub.
Yeah.
Which means, like, you give me a French film and I hire some American voices to replace the voices in French, and I turn them in American.
Okay.
And it's a complicated workflow. I developed that workflow in 2018 in Burbank, California, with one of my partners, and we accessed a big studio because they were allowed to dub for Netflix, and I started to do dubbing productions as a dub supervisor, voice casting, VO director, and I just was in love with this because I could use my acting expertise. I loved giving jobs to actors. It was like, so for me, it's such a joy. I'm a very good VO casting. I have a good ear. So I started to do that. And at that time, I was not an actor anymore. I took a break with my acting. And a lot of actors saw that, I was getting along with them well because, once an actor is always an actor. And they were like, Fannie, you're one of us. I'm like, yeah, and they started to throw me behind the mic. My directors, my actors were like, Fannie, you would be great for this. And I was like, no, guys, I'm not acting anymore. Like, yeah. So the acting bug came back because of VO.
Okay. And
after I was done doing this dubbing thing for the 30 months, I did 30 months in a row. Believe me, I was burnt out. The pandemic hit. My my husband and now partner found a way to dub from home at that time because I wanted to save my projects. I didn't want Netflix to cancel my projects, which they did. They accepted me. They trusted me. And once I did those 30 months at this big studio, I wanted to go on my own. My little remote dubbing company that I have, it's 7HM, 7 Holdings Media. And I discovered that during the process of doing VO, a lot of people were telling me, you're so good, you're such a good actress, you should have a VO agent. And I was hired by Heather Graham at Atlas. Okay. So she took me in, she didn't hire me, she took me in because I was hiring a lot of her actors. And then I did a cute little dubbing demo, and then she's like, oh my God, you are so good. I want to rep you. And then I got a Call of Duty audition, which at the time, the code name was Mastodon.
Mastodon, okay.
Yeah,
would not
and
have
I
guessed
did an
that.
audition.
Yeah, that's, I mean,
I know,
they have
right?
to make it obscure, right? You know, it couldn't be anything. You know, they might have.
Well, yeah,
Sparkle
because
Pony,
they don't
something
want
like
any
that.
leaks. Absolutely. And then, so basically, I did an audition. It was December, and I knew I got the part in July.
In July.
It was 2022, I think. 21,
Okay. For those at home who are unfamiliar with the industry and the business, VO and dubbing, since we're here, and I want to come back to Calisto because I've got some more stuff on Calisto, but
yes.
Explain the difference between VO and dubbing and what they are.
Okay, so voiceover, for example, or ADR, for example, you shoot a film in English, and I'm your director, and I say, well, okay, Rixie, it was great, we have the film, it's edited, but I'd like you to VO yourself a little bit. So meaning that, for example, you did some sentences, but I want you to be a little louder, or I want you to articulate. So you're going to come in studio, and you're going to VO yourself. Okay, that's VO. You're going to have your face on a screen, and you're going to read your lines following your mouth, and you're going to follow my directions because I want to retake, basically, just
on
your
the
voice,
audio.
Okay, now, voila. Now, if we do, for example, voices for documentaries, like we describe, for example, let's say an animal documentary. So, okay, the little kitty is waiting for his mama, da-da-da. So that's a voice that's a voice that is also a VO voice. That's accompanying a content. Okay, now dubbing, that's why it's very hard. Like, for example, we have a French character. We have a French film, and the character I'm dubbing right now, she's saying, oh, bonjour, comment ça va? And see how my mouth ends, comment ça va? Oh, bonjour, comment ça va? Means, oh, hi, how you doing? But if I say in English, oh, hi, how you doing? It doesn't end ça va. It ends ing. Because I want to turn my French film into English, right? So I'm gonna have to do an exercise of adaptation. Meaning that somebody I'm hiring, I'm using a software. The software is called VoiceQ. I have my time codes with the name of my characters and my sentences, time code in with each of the sentences. And my actors, they have a ritmo band. It's like a karaoke for actors. And they're reading what I'm saying. But it's been adapted because if I use just the subtitles as they are, the character is going to say, hey, how you doing? But it's not good for the way the mouth closes. So my English actor, I'm going to have them say, hey, what's up? And I have the mouth open. You know what I mean? So it's coherent.
So
it's
you're
adaptation.
Deciding that ahead. So you have that all figured out. So you have created the script. You've got, okay, here's the character you're doing, or let's just say, let's stick with me that I'm doing. Okay, and here are all the lines, and here's the amount of time you got to say each line, and go, right?
Right.
Now, are they? Because I always envision them, standing in front of the screen and watching it, but they're not watching. They're just really looking at. It's almost like you said, like karaoke.
Yeah. So my method, the technology I use is really like cutting edge. Now everybody's doing dubbing in the US. And the way to do it is to use the software. The software is only usable on Macs, though. That's a problem for some
I love
studios.
Apple.
So basically, again, the best way to describe it, Rixie, is a karaoke for actors. You have the words that are timed with the open, when the actor speaks, the original actor speaks, and the English actor coming is supposed to really, get into the body language of the original, mimic everything with the intention. They have to be good actors, because you can get a session where your character, just lost her father, then gets into a car accident, and just like, then having a violent scene,
Switch gears.
you have to be emotionally available. Yeah, you have to be very emotionally available. That's for sure.
So you got to be able to go from park to reverse and then back to low, all
Yeah.
in a few sentences.
Yeah, and being able to take directions fast. I coach also actors to do that.
Okay.
To learn how to do it.
We'll jump.
It's a fun, very fun
We'll
process.
jump there more because I want to hear more about Seven Holdings Media. Let's go back to Calisto for just a minute. All right. So
Sure.
When they're going to do it, they have to do it. When they do the live action Call of Duty movie or series, I mean, are you going to play Calisto? I mean, tell me it's going to happen.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, Rixie, the situation of the VR world right now is really bad. We're being hunted by AI. There is a video game strike right now in Hollywood.
Yeah, I did not know that.
It's been happening since last week. So basically, they want to clone everything.
Yeah.
So my voice is already licensed somewhere else.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it's really bad, and we don't make a lot of money.
So you license your voice, and they can make it say whatever they want. I mean, do you have some stipulations on that?
Well, we didn't sign anything. I mean, we signed a regular contract at that time, but since then, AI has been growing really fast. So we're trying to fight, but we're not winning right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would like to go down the AI route with you a little bit. My background, I've been in IT for 25 years, at least 25. Holy cow. I've been in IT for a long time. AI is, it's both exciting and scary at the same time.
Yes, I mean, we've been using it, for a lot of different things without even realizing it. I like to generate a picture.
Mm-hmm.
I like to generate something. I mean, I had an AI company. They were very nice, actually, because they saw that I had the most experience with the dubbing. So they wanted to pick my brain with dubbing productions. And I said, okay, because I wanted to see where they were at. And I saw that it still takes time to generate. And if you project, if it's really emotional, if it's really like intense, it creates a lot of artifacts. So they're not ready yet, but for audio description or very like monotone narrations, they're already stealing the shit out of everything. But for live action, for true acting, when the emotion, the breath, all that, the breath are very hard to clone. They create artifacts. So I saw where they were at. Soon we'll get there. Sooner than later, but not yet. Like right now, I have clients who wanted to use AI, and they're coming back because they're like, oh.
Well, you realize it does.
They want to profit. Yeah. The Americans actually are too excited too fast with AI. In Europe, they're slower. They're fighting. In Europe, they fight. They strike. Not saying they don't strike here, but they don't fight enough. I mean, American people are very kind. They obey. And it's true. They work hard and they're kind, and we need to really like fight right now. And I don't think we're fighting enough.
I think we need to put an emphasis on human made. And AI has its place and purpose, but I think we always have to. I mean, we've got to look out for our own, creative interests in ourselves. I mean, because creativity is I think hugely important to who we are. I mean, and if we're given all that stuff, when we talked about computers replacing people, originally it was like, well, it's going to be robots. It's going to be, doing the manual labor and the physical labor. But what's happening faster is the replacement of the intellectual jobs. You've got like, lawyers, for instance. I mean, they used to review these documents for companies, and would get a fee for it. Well, AI does it now, and it not only, what would take a lawyer, hours or days can be done in minutes, and the rate of their success rate, or how well they've done or how right they are, is gradually just keeps getting higher and higher. And I don't know how much you know about computing, but the exponential growth in computing is just it's just going to continue to grow, and eventually it will.
Yeah, I mean, the process started. It's too late to go back. No. I mean, they're AI between themselves already communicate and created their own language. I'm sorry, excuse my French, but we fucked. It's done. It's just a matter of time of how do we reinvent ourselves. A lot of jobs are going to be taken. I suffered this year because of AI as a dubbing producer. And a lot of my actors, and me also as a VO actor, I continue to audition a lot because of Call of Duty. I've been getting a lot of auditions and stuff, and there is such competition right now because a lot of people, that's all they have left. But also that has been taken away from them, So it's just, it's very uncomfortable. I know a few people that are, they want to fight for us, and they're politically trying to really create a voice. But for example, I know that Netflix, with the dubbing department, I did everything I could in 2019 for SAG and Netflix, to accept that the dubbing actors should be union, because it's hard to act in a live action dubbing project. They did. And now I'm hearing that Netflix wants to go back non-union. Why? Because they want to take as much before they will not need actors anymore. This is what's happening. So I know a lot of stuff that's going on in the background, and it's really a game of resilience, reinventing. It doesn't smell good. Sorry, I wish I could be more optimistic.
Talk about this. No, I'm like, we need, like I said, my background has been IT, and I'm a geek, as you can see all around me. I love science fiction. And so, AI is a real, it's something we really need to be thinking about, talking about. And I think we need, at some point, we've got to focus on, keeping it real. And that's kind of my thing. Instead of going automated, let's keep it real, for our benefit.
Yes.
And that's my slogan. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real.
Yes. So I agree with you. I think that's, I think that theater, for example, is going to come back, like especially Gen X people, our generation, or little younger. We know how to make the difference between real and not. Like the young generation, for example, they like a picture or an image or a video, and they're like, oh, I love that. And it's like, no, but it's AI, it's not real. They don't care. We care because we're older. We make the difference. So I think there are going to be two worlds, and I believe in also creating some live remote productions, stuff like that. I worked on that concept with Francis Coppola in 2016. He was creating a Distant Vision. I worked with Francis Coppola for a whole month at UCLA. It was on his own money, and he wanted to create some live cinema. And because he believes that, people are going to want to connect. Even if we're far away from each other, we want to see real life. We want to be entertained with real life. It is happening, but there's going to be more and more job working for AI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a trauma for everybody, because it's an unknown territory for everybody for now.
Yeah. And it's really... So there, the technology's there, the computing's there. It's only getting faster and faster, and it's a matter of time before someone's like, "Oh, I'm going to train the AI to do this job or this job or this job."
Right.
And really, once the training, it keeps getting better and better. Like I said, with the lawyer, I don't know if I'd like to talk to someone in that field. That's just a article I'd read. How they're losing work to AI because. And of course, I'm sure the law firms are probably, have the AI themselves, because like we need less people. We can use AI to get it done. And the same with, I think, architects and even in the healthcare field. So where we
Yeah.
thought it was going to take over and take manufacturing jobs. I mean, it has to an extent, but I think it's going to be
Right.
it's more fastly being adopted in the intellectual world. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you love sci-fi and you love or the whole thought behind this, Battlestar Galactica, the 2004 series, great series, and it's just this
Yeah.
problem. I don't know, have you seen the series at all? Are you a sci-fi
No.
fan? It's this problem right here, and what's funny is, or what's interesting is, and it's spoiler for anyone who's not seen it, so I apologize, but it ends on basically that they pretty much almost wipe each other out, humanity, and they go and start over again somewhere else. And they've found out that this has been a loop that's been happening in different worlds all over
Wow.
the place. Anyway, interesting thoughts. So
Very
you
cool.
said you said something I was going to ask you on Calisto that reminded me when you said, pardon my French. So what is the swear to non-swear ratio for Calisto? I mean, I feel like it was pretty.
Oh. So yeah, the funny story, when I first came in, I did. I think I had 4 sessions. Attends. I had 3 or 4 sessions with them. The first session, the writers were here, and I said, they sent me the lines, a little few days before. So I looked at them, and there was some stuff that was incorrect in French. So I said, guys, can I correct some of the stuff, especially the cursing? We can do better. And they, oh yeah. So I had
You
fun.
punched it up.
So for example, oh yeah, no, I mean, I have a dirty mouth. I mean, I can, I when I work and shit, I mean, I have a
I
dirty
can't
mouth.
imagine that.
So I was like home, it was so great. So I was like, okay, so for example, she's saying this, but if you say, allez, vas-y, putain, and they're like, ooh, what is putain? I said, putain means whore, but it's the equivalent of fuck. When you say fuck in American, if you say putain, we use it for everything. That, ooh, we like putain. How do you spell it? So
Oh.
I was spelling,
Did you get writing credit?
for example, you know what? I should have,
Totally.
because there was a lot of rewrites. And Calisto speaks American but swears in French
Oh, interesting.
because she's supposed to be French American, exactly like me, actually.
Okay.
So she studied military both in French and I think also the U.S.
Yeah.
But when she speaks, she's always speaks American, and then when she's in the moment, frustrated and accompanying her English, we want to give it a touch of French personality. So the cursing comes in French. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, I can imagine.
It was a lot of fun.
Tell me you've gone to a gaming convention somewhere and dressed as Calisto and just
No,
you got
I haven't
Fannie,
done that yet.
oh, you got to
I
do
haven't
that.
done that yet.
You got to do that.
I haven't done that yet. I'm not very much about those conventions and stuff. It's just because I love people, and it's very overwhelming. I did a convention last year for Titanic.
Okay.
Oh, I met Lou Abernathy.
Okay.
He's fantastic. He's in Titanic. He's at the beginning. He's on this boat, and I don't remember exactly his part, but he's one of James Cameron's best friend, and really cool guy. Really cool guy. We had fun at this convention, and the people want you to tell them anecdotes, which I did. I don't have a lot to say because I was there for only 10 days, but I give a lot. And I mean, I'm just pooped after one day. So I can't even imagine doing 2-3 days, and I mean, again, it was just one role, so I'm like, oh, doing a convention and I just did this one big thing, I find it a little, but I might actually work on the costume.
I think it would be great.
Because I think it's pretty
people
cool.
would freak out. People would freak out.
What I can tell you, though, is that my husband plays the game.
Oh, does he?
And he always plays me.
Oh, he plays as you. Okay, in the game. All right. Now, do you jump
yeah,
in too?
And no, I don't.
You don't play. Okay.
I don't play, but I like to watch him play because he's really good. He's a really good sniper.
Oh.
And I hear myself all the time. And sometimes there's a lot of other players, all of them are playing Calisto, so I hear my voice all the time everywhere.
So he's playing online. He's playing online.
Yes.
So you got to grab the headset, jump in, and just lay some Calisto lines on there and just mess them up.
Yeah. And sometimes they're like, "Oh, was it me? Oh, I don't remember I recorded this." It's so cute.
I've played a
It's a
little
fun little
Call of Duty,
moments.
not a lot. I'm not a giant gamer. But I do know that people. I mean, all you have to. What's her last name? Because it's oh, I had it. But anyway, you put the tag on the uniform, people would freak out. I'm telling you, they would figure out. You'd have a handful of people who'd figure it out, and then having the voice and everything. Oh my gosh! All right.
Yeah, maybe I should. Maybe you should tell me where I should, say hi, whatever. I don't know anything about all this stuff.
Oh,
I'm like,
there's conventions, and usually all of them have some sort of gaming, platform or area or something going on, and
true, true. I need to do my homework
they're
on
all
that.
over. You're in L.A. Burbank, right? Right, that area. Where you at?
No, I moved May
Oh
2021.
wow.
I'm South Las Vegas, close to the Red Rock
Oh, in Vegas.
Mountains.
Okay.
Red Rocks. Yeah, I'm not a casino
Yeah.
person, but we really desert, Red Rocks. It's beautiful. It's calm. I have my remote studio here. I do my dubbing productions from home. I go to LA to voice direct or
Hmm.
act sometimes, but LA didn't recover from the pandemic.
No.
It's hard. It became tough.
So when you say not recovering, so is it? I mean, are you seeing a lot of people leaving, a lot of businesses
I
closing?
know there's an yes. So a lot of businesses didn't reopen.
Hmm.
Uh, the traffic, the way people drive, Rixie, it changed like drastically.
Okay.
People used to cruise, in LA. Now the driving is so aggressive. People are tired. They're fed up.
Hmm.
They're paying so much for everything, and there's no fun anymore. There's an exodus. A lot of people are leaving LA. Hollywood is not doing well right now.
Hmm.
There's lots of strikes going on. It's tough. Um, it's a lot of people living in the streets.
Hmm.
You know,
That's breaks your heart. It
it's
breaks your heart.
yeah, yeah, because there's so much creativity in this town. There's
Yes.
amazing people. Most of my friends are there. So it's a little
Well,
sad.
let's go back to Seven Holdings Media. What tell us? I mean, who exactly? I mean, it's you and your husband, and what exactly you guys do there?
So I started this in 2016. I wanted to do some film productions and stuff. I was still an
Hmm.
actor. And then I decided that, I entered the dubbing business. So I started to actually honor 7HM with my dubbing because I was an entrepreneur at that time. I mean, I still am. I was not hired by this. I was hired by the studio, but not as an employee. As I was working with them when I showed them how to dub through my company.
Hmm.
So once I decided after those 30 months to go on my own, I decided to give 7HM a recognition of, how much we care about how we dub and also how much we care about the actors. My game is to make them feel like they are respected. I want to teach them how to dub well. I want to honor, any kind of content and use real human voices. Now I have to specify it.
Yeah.
And in between, directing, voice casting, voice directing, dub producing, and also we just finished a little pilot. I called it Jeanne and Mimi in Vegas. It's like imagining the character of Jeanne Dubarry, basically because her little domestic servant makes do a prayer. We escaping Paris because I'm about to be
Oh,
guillotined, and we land in Vegas. But it's you need
so
to.
from
So it's a
Paris
little
to
pilot.
Vegas. Okay. Is
Yeah. So it's a
is it out there now? Do you have it out there now somewhere?
well, I can send it to you if
Oh,
you
I
want.
would
It's
love to
just a
see it.
pilot. Yeah, I'd love your feedback, and also if you have some ideas on how I should push it, because it's a vertical pilot. It's only shot with an iPhone
Okay.
Pro Max 13, and my bet was like we shooting guerrilla style. There's quite a bit of post though
Mm-hmm.
on it because it looks really cute, and I do want to have the audience. Uh, they give me like I don't know $10,
Yeah.
$5, whatever, and in 25 words, they tell me what do they want Jeanne and Mimi to go through next.
Okay.
It's like a little pilot,
So like
and I want the
Patreons.
audience. Voila, it's
Patreons.
a Patreon, and I'd like to the audience to participate. So and bring a little money for the writing. So have some time to only think about that. Its project is really cute. It's 8 minutes and 8 minutes 47 seconds, and I love period pieces. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do my own thing. And my husband is an amazing cameraman, so he shot. So we have some amazing production value with this thing, and it cost me $400.
The phone iPhones
It's
are
so
so
cute.
good. Okay, I'm really excited. So the shooting it vertically, that was a creative choice, or you wanted that form?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it was a creative choice. We're very much into TikTok. I mean, I watch a lot of news with TikToks. I think there's a lot of truth coming out. You have to be careful with the rabbit holes and all that,
Oh
but
gosh.
I do like TikTok, and it was like almost like a TikTok concept, but I don't know. Again, I'm very good. I'm very creative, but I'm not super aggressive with my marketing, or I'm very good at pushing others than myself. But this little project, I'll send it to you. I would love to hear your
Yes,
feedback.
and if we can, Keith, the producer for Collector's Maze, that put us in touch. He posts. He does a great job posting, and he posts on like 19 different platforms. So we'd love to
Wow.
help you push that out there. So
That would be so nice.
if one thing would
Yeah.
be good, if you guys haven't done it already, is make a 1 minute trailer or something, or a little that could go out
Yeah.
on the reels, because all your reels are limited to 1 minute, right? So all the
Ah.
shorts,
Yeah, I can make a little trailer easily,
yeah, a 1 minute
for
trailer.
sure. I'll send you the 8 minute 47 thing, and then you tell me if it's worth it. It's a little cuckoo,
I
but
like
it's
cuckoo.
really
I like
cute.
cuckoo. I'm
It's cute.
yeah, okay. I'm really excited. I'm really excited. All right, so
Ah, that's nice.
back to Seven Holdings and dubbing. So you
Yes.
I'm assuming, am I correct? You don't need to speak multiple languages to like, if we're dubbing a film into
No.
English, I don't need to know French.
As long as my client sends me the subtitles in
Mm-hmm.
English, then I can work with it.
Mm.
Okay, because of course, like right now, for example, I have this amazing Russian film. I don't speak Russian, so we're about to start the preparation of the dub, but they need to send me the subtitles with the time codes,
Mm-hmm.
so I can start to feed, excuse me, my software, and that way we can start to calculate, the number of hours I'm gonna need per characters, how many characters. I can start to really evaluate my budget, do my casting, and then start the recording.
Okay. So what in the actors that you're using? I mean, are they near you, or are they all remote? I mean, does it matter your location?
There, yes. So my studio is really a remote dubbing studio. We're the only one in the world doing
So
this.
all the people
We are
that are working for you are working remotely. No one comes to.
from their
Okay.
home. They need to have a good
Yeah.
setup, and they don't need to own any softwares, because my husband's slash partner, he created a way. He sends two links, one video. You're gonna love that because you're a geek. He sends two links, one video, one audio. You open it, their voice comes in my speaker, my voice as a director comes in your headphones, and then on your screen you have the proxy, and then the karaoke for actors, but there is no delay at all.
Oh, okay.
It just feels like if you were in a big studio.
I love that.
And I coach like that. Like this morning, I had a girl from Australia
Nice.
who wanted to learn. You
Uh-huh.
know, I had from China, Germany, England, France, of course. Canada, Hawaii. I mean, my actors come from all over the world. The ones who wants to learn, and also I'm building my rosters for future productions because of that.
Great. So really, this. I mean, what's the market like? I mean, is this something that someone could do on the side? Should they do it full time? I mean, what does that look like for someone?
It's to do a very good dub, you cannot really cut corners. There is a very important workflow. It takes time. When I have a dubbing production, I cannot do something else.
Well, I mean, so the actors that you're bringing in to do the dubbing.
Oh, the actors, generally, I mean, most of the time, I'm gonna hire them for an hour.
Okay, that's what I was curious.
And if you have a lead, yeah, sorry, I didn't understand your question. And if you get the lead, it's gonna vary between 2 to 5 hours of recording for a feature.
For a feature, okay.
For a series, it depends. If it's a 45-minute series, generally it's 6 or 8 episodes. It depends.
And then someone that's interested in doing this, I mean, so Seven Holdings Media. What's the web address for your website?
It's sevenholdingsmedia.com.
Sevenholdingsmedia.com. Okay. And then so information as far as, enrolling in classes. I mean, do you need to have an agent at that point or?
No.
Okay.
No. You need to have at least 1 year of acting under your belt. I cannot take beginners.
Yeah.
For the coaching, even for the coaching, I can't take beginners because time goes too fast behind the mic. The character you're dubbing is doing what it's doing, and you need to really be on it, with your emotions. Then I can explain to you the technology, how to follow the rhythm band and all that, But it's not an exercise for beginners. But
so prerequisites. What I do, prerequisites.
Yeah. Yes, very much so. And if I meet an amazing talent, I try to hook them up with a good agent. Yeah, and I've right now I'm collaborating with an agency because I cannot send them to Atlas anymore. Atlas is such a good agency, but they are kind of like jammed. Yeah. They have too many actors. So I'm helping them with an agency called Citizen Skull, and they're very happy. I can send them my remote actors or actors that are in LA, and it's I really try to help them.
I love that. And so the 1 year, you want them to have 1 year of a acting class. I mean, is there one that you recommend? Is that what you're saying, or just 1 year experience in the industry somewhere? I mean, what are you looking for there?
Well, I do need to feel like the actor has done at least 1 year of acting class.
Okay.
A class, real training, at least 1 year of real training. It's not because you were on a set for one role that you have it down, unless it's a big lead and you learn so much and but a year of training is required.
Nice. Okay.
Absolutely.
Good to know. All right. So I want to jump gears on you again here. I saw, and I don't remember where I caught that you were in a band. Now, was this back home? I say back home. Was this back in France?
Yeah, it was back in France. It was when I came back to LA after my first time in LA, 2006, 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
And it was called CEOs, and I was writing my lyrics and singing. Yeah.
So
it was my ex actually who was the composer.
Okay, so you wrote the lyrics and he composed the music behind it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found Artsy Pop on iTunes. Don't do that. It's good. I enjoyed it.
Oh, you're very nice. Well, I think they really messed up the mix.
Yeah.
All the mixes on all those productions, it's like the spectrum is so busy, I was very disappointed with the way they mixed everything. But hey, look at you little, you went into and you found this. Are you proud of yourself?
No, I'm proud of myself. I enjoyed it. I don't remember where I caught that you've been in a band. I wonder if she's got something on iTunes. And so I grabbed iTunes, and sure enough, the EP out there, Artsy Pop, and what was the song? What's wrong with me? Yeah, I like the way that one goes.
I don't know what is wrong with me. Yeah, this one is a little catchy.
It was. I used it. I have a running playlist when I go out and run, and so it fit great in my running playlist. So I mean, while I'm out running or working out.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Now,
That's
any plans for any more? I mean, you going to release any more out there into the wild?
I do like to sing. I miss singing.
Well, that's some good TikTok material right there.
You're right.
That's some good TikTok material right there.
I do have the desire, Rixie, to. I have this idea of a more of a book for children, narration
No
book.
way.
But there's a story with a fairy, and it's a fairy who's asking the wishing well. You know, the wishing well is there to ask questions, and she's not actually wishing for herself, but she wants to help her friends. And then when the wishing well answers, he answers by songs. And he
Ah.
answers by English or French songs. And she's just, I love fairies, so it's a fairy. And I would like to have enough time. It's coming. To just focus on creating new songs for kids, very high pitch, Mais comment peux-tu dire ça, petit coquinou de toi? Oh, oh. Like little stuff.
I love that. I love that.
I just love to do those little characters, like very cute, like, oh no, don't say that now. I'm sad. No, I'm not sad anymore. All the cute little. I just want to
Oh,
create this world where kids, if they really love the story in English, but then the other character is also saying the same thing in French, for example, so they can learn
okay.
songs in two languages, you know. And so, yes, there is some singing. But going back in a band and stuff, no, no, not
Well,
really. No,
I
I'm
think
not
that's a
very.
good TikTok or reel opportunity right there. Find some, even cover songs. I think you throw some out there.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, thank you so much. You should be my TikTok agent. Okay, Fannie, now do that. Okay, Fannie, now do that. No, I mean, I think I'm very creative.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
quite talented, but I can. It's always hard for me to remind myself how I can push myself. So thanks for the
Well, I've
ideas. I
caught a
really
few of your
appreciate it.
Instagram videos. I mean, you've got some great videos out there, and that's where I caught the where you had the one where you were talking about swearing and the different swear words. I'm like, I
Yes.
want. So you said, pardon my French. I mean, that's kind of like I feel like it's a typecast, but I mean, is that a real thing? I mean, in France, is it more common for people to swear than say over here in America?
Yes. Yes. The French people, they love to complain.
Yeah.
So with a good swear word, it's even better. You know, it's just like, for example, I don't know, like some people use the word, fuck a
Mm-hmm.
lot. We have a lot of different fuck words.
Okay.
Putain, c'est chiant. C'est chiant, I mean, it's annoying, but it's a little harder. Or, il est con celui-là, meaning he's an idiot, that one, or he's an asshole. But it's not as strong. If I say, oh, il est con celui-là, meaning that in English it would be like, oh, this guy is heavy. I'm like, it's a little too much. In French, we would say, oh, il est con celui-là, meaning like, oh, it's not very bright. But it's hard words, it's swear words, but it fits in so many ways, of expressing yourself because they like to complain, they like to gossip, and they like to judge. French are very judgy. So with a good French cursing word, it's even better.
Mm. I'm not so sure that those things aren't universal, that they don't happen everywhere. Because unfortunately, everyone, I mean,
The Italians are pretty, I
well,
think, are even stronger
oh,
than
okay,
us.
all right.
The course in Corsica also, the French Corsica people, yeah, they can go pretty far too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Very cool. All
Yeah.
right. So what is next? I mean, what are you or what are you working on currently? Anything you working on coming up exciting?
This 167 minutes of this amazing Russian film that just
Oh
landed
yes.
on. It's like whoa! I'm like whoa! This is a big production, amazing production value. So I'm gonna help them to sell that in the U.S. with my best dubbing, and in December, the first weekend of December. I mean, I think it's 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll be at Sovas. So Sovas is the biggest VO convention,
Okay.
and Max and I, 7HM. What basically? Oh, by the way, when you say Seven Holdings Media, you can say 7HM. I
7
like it
Okay.
better. Yes, thank you. And we're going to be on stage for 15 minutes. We're going to explain our technology. I'm going to be doing a live casting, have some actors come on
Mm.
stage, and I'm going to, be like challenging them. We'll talk about voice cue, the software we're using, because I only swear by the software to produce. and we'll be also, meeting actors and telling them what's next in our world. I want to encourage actors to become their own producers, basically, because of the AI stuff and everything that's happening. Like, how do you create content from home more and more? How do you sell it? And how do you produce without needing anybody anymore?
I think that's huge. That's one of the ways. I mean, I won't say the words reinventing, but that's one of the ways you create opportunity. I don't think you have to wait for a lot of opportunity. I mean, why not learn and go create your own opportunity, create your own media?
Yeah,
and like you said, with a cell phone, you can do so much.
Yeah, exactly. If you really are creative, you need to be fed. So why don't you just feed yourself also? Of course, we still have our bills,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. You cannot put all your eggs in the same basket. That's for sure, especially today. But if you really attach to true human performance, if you have a story, if you have a heart, if you want to share, if you want to really entertain, for the sake of true entertainment, I think that now we have access to incredible tools. It doesn't cost too much. It's very time consuming, as you know, also as a geek. You need to really know your
Mm-hmm.
stuff to really start to have fun with it. But a true artist now is being recognized by how much capacity he has just on his own, capabilities, I would say. How capable are you for doing this and for doing that? And, how do you, if you want to write a song and you want this actor to sing it, well, you can't afford this actor. So how do you make it happen to just do it yourself? There's a lot of things we can do on our own. Then it's not about also like, I don't want to invite people to do everything alone
Yeah.
and close in, but at least they have more freedom of creativity that way. You know, some people are very sad if they're not being creative. They get very sad.
Oh yeah.
Some people don't need to be creative, So I think that if you wait around, hoping that somebody's going to call you back after that audition, you can wait a long time.
You need to move on, and that way when it
Even
does
if you're
happen, you're
good.
excited. It's like, oh wow, that came through. But you keep
Yeah.
plugging, doing something, whatever it is. I mean,
Yeah. Well, right now, like for the acting with me, I always tell my actors, I say when I book something in acting, it's the cherry on the cake. It's great if I book, and frankly, I do quite a bit of auditions, and sometimes my husband is like, that was a great one. Never hear from it. And because the competition is huge,
yeah,
and it's nothing to take personal. First of all, you never hired for the right reasons. So do other things as a creative person. And if you get that gig, that's great.
hmm and you're growing and you're moving forward all the time, all
Yeah.
the time. So,
Yeah.
where can people follow? I mean, I know you're on Instagram. What's your Instagram?
My Instagram, attends, let me see. I'm so
Well,
sorry.
don't be. We can
Uh,
look it up real quick.
it's Fannie
So
Brett.
just Fannie Brett.
That's it. And my TikTok is at Fannie Brett in one word.
Okay. So at Fannie Brett on TikTok, and then
Yeah.
remind me the name of the little series that you're creating, that you and your husband. Yeah, your husband. Yeah,
Jeanne
your husband's name. I know you've said it quick.
Maxime.
Maxime. Okay.
Max.
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 Okay.
Call him Max. Max. He's a brilliant cameraman. So fucking good. So we did this. We co-directed it. I wrote it. I'm acting in it, and we also have another actress, Joëlle Champerroux.
Okay.
And the title is Jeanne and Mimi in Vegas.
John and Mimi in Vegas. That's exciting. I
Good.
like it. I
Yeah.
like it.
I'm gonna send it to you right away once
Oh
we're
yeah,
done.
yeah. I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to watch it. All right. Well,
Thank you.
man, this has been so much fun. I've loved spending this time with you, and
Oh,
I
you're
hope
so
we get
kind.
more time to talk in the future. So thank you.
Of course. Well, thank you for taking the time. Let's stay in touch.
Absolutely.
I will take any of your tips with, pushing Jeanne and Mimi. And if you need anything else, my dear, don't be shy, okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, and you have a
Yeah,
wonderful
you're
evening.
welcome. You too. Bye, Rixie.